nerds. I already tried to do one of these videos with Black Myth Wukong, except the audio came in like crap, so unfortunately I'm going to restart the game. But I generally know what I'm doing, and I think there are some things that I missed in the last playthrough, so I still haven't finished the game. And I'd also like to kind of go through some of the lore items that are in the game.
My master. Safe. The scriptures. Sound. All I ever wanted was a life in my mountain, free from you and your so-called merits. Those high above don't trust me. I understand that. And they send you and those knuckleheads to threaten me. To obey and serve once more. I understand that too. But what I don't understand is... you bastards killing my kind!
Stay back! Stupid dog! Mark this. He's not just any monkey. He's a monkey of merit. A monkey was made Buddha once. None other than me can challenge him to a duel. Look, monkey. I don't make a habit of fighting someone I've bested before. Here's my offer. If you lose, I'll take you to the Celestial Court. They will stay and level your mountain. But if I lose, I shall certainly take revenge, and they will level your mountain nonetheless. How tragic would that be, huh? You are one of the court. We don't need to resort to violence. How about you bend the knees, admit the wrongs, and we can put this behind us.
All these years. Except for that pig. You're the one who talks the tallest tales. Good. I am entertained. Speaking of entertainment, wouldn't it be fun if I pluck your extra eye out for my snack and allow you to keep the other two? Because I'd hate to let you miss how I'll slaughter each mongrel of the court. Those below, those above, and that black mutt of yours. Come at me, all of you.
Alright.
They gave
No
you
health bar.
many chances.
This one's not too hard to do.
You spurned each one. Such ingratitude. The victorious fighting Buddha. Have you any idea how many would give their everything for immortality?
Immortality? For that word, all realms and beings have ruined themselves.
This game. Dang, dodge that. That doesn't matter like it. Invincible.
Foul monkey! Taste my axe!
You call that a duel? The glare up here is dazzling. Fight me in the woods if you have the guts. And so ends the last tale of Sun Wukong. A hero who treasured his freedom above all else. Buddhahood he attained, yes, but cumbersome he found the celestial rules, for he yearned to come back and to revel in the simple joys with us. Little did he know, his choice to forgo the life above only fueled their mistrust. This stone has stood for countless days on the mountain. Since my youth, they've said that his remains lie within it. Unbegotten, undying, such is the nature of a stone monkey. Though his body was broken, his spirit endures. Into 6 relics he turned, and separately they escaped, choosing to stay hidden. Those are the 6 senses of the great sage. Yet no one has ever seen them, not in centuries. I'm old now. Venture through all the lands I cannot. Yet among you, there might be one who is destined. One that shall recover all his scattered relics. And upon the return of the relics to Mount Tuaguo, he may yet rise again.
On the go, bend the toe, life of human or forgo. Nowhere better than a home. We cheat death and ever grow. Huh? Here, you see, what bliss my fate shows.
Luck's around the corner. Seems like he just fell from a fruit tree here.
Perfect timing. This Pete's knew I needed a snack. You sneaky rascal! Dare to fool me? I'll make sure you regret it!
Yeah, I'm going to try not to talk through all the cinematics. I think they can get very distracting.
No matter how many times you come around, you're still as mischievous as ever, eh?
Right, so I do want to go through some of these items on here. So this one's Stone Spirit, General Weapon Material. This is the Fortitude of the Mountains and the Spirit of the Rocks. This material can be used to craft weapons. And then let's go to these Yagwais. So the Wolf Scout, Immaculate Skills, the Wolf's Lone Aim, no price too high, his heart aflame, yet wayward efforts brought no gain, a futile vision, all in vain. Among the Wolf Guais, I'm probably going to say that wrong 1,000 times while we're going through this, there was a young one, ambitious, and always seeking rapid progress on the path of Tao. However, his time spent practicing was short, and his skills remained shallow. He couldn't yet grasp the deeper techniques of his clan, leaving him impatient. Oh my gosh, there's a lot to read. What? One day during his routine patrol, he carried a cask of fine wine. As he passed the mountain gate, he encountered the gatekeeper, Bulgard, who had a weakness for liquor. Eager to learn, the young wolf shared the wine with Bulgard and seized the opportunity to inquire about secret techniques partaken in the wine. Feeling compelled, Bulgard taught him a few tricks. Rejoicing, the young wolf hurried home to practice. 2 months passed, and having found little benefit in those teachings, he contemplated giving up. Recalling his previous success in bartering wine for knowledge, he retrieved a small golden statue and approached the snake patroller. Persuaded by gold, the greedy creature shared some techniques with him. Back at home, the young wolf practiced as instructed. Another month passed, yet his gains remained minimal. Undeterred, he repeated his tactics with other Guais, exchanging valuables for teachings. Over time, he visited everyone in the mountain, amassing a repertoire of techniques. Yet, despite practicing one today and another the next, he made no progress. Eventually, a compassionate elder wolf offered guidance. Yet the young wolf, conversely, started lecturing the kind old wolf with his strange mastery, leaving him speechless. From that point on, no one in the clan was willing to teach him. Dummy. Alright. The wolf sworn sword. Meager of wit, wrapped in white attire, in sludge they crawl, yet yearn for higher, bent to power. Kings' favor they seek, where even lowly fowls may peak. A white-robed wolf Guai, patrolling the hills, seized a sword from a traveler. Jewels studded his scabbard, his blade sharp and bright. Coveting it, he strapped the sword to his side, revealing in its splendor. Yet when it was time to give tribute, he hid it away. The other Guais chided, without offering such treasures to the king, how will you earn his favor? Or do you fancy patrolling forever? The wolf Guais scoffed. Such treasures we cherish, the king barely notices. You offer scrap metal and dream of favor. You are fools. They dismissed his words, seeing them as mere excuses to shirk his duty, while they toiled on. The wolf Guai indulged in peaches and drank wherever he could lay hands on them, keeping the very best for himself. The others knew his punishment would come and waited. One day the Black Wind King held a lecture on Buddhism in the mountains, speaking of enlightenment and revival. His guardians spread paper talismans and were all commanded to consume them before the chanting and prayers. Hours later, the king inquired about their enlightenment. A pause fell. Then the white-robed wolf Guai stood, and there emerged others one by one. The next day, a decree was issued to the guardians. The wolf Gwai was promoted to a minor captain. All other Gwais, puzzled, whispered among themselves, how had the wolf Gwai not only escaped punishment, but found himself rewarded? Interesting. Alright. I won't read the know-how things. That seems a little overboard.
Master said something about a rare guest today. You be the one.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you hold Y, it builds up focus. Charging cost stamina and quickly builds focus. Yes.
Report to Lord Lingshi quickly.
Very difficult. Okay. Alright. So new things in inventory. So we have the tiny piece of gold, a tiny piece of gold, its origin indiscernible. Perhaps some trade could be done at the Keeper's Shrine. And then the yarn, by day they patrol the hills, by night they spin their yarns. Such is the life of lesser Gwais. Their hard-earned yarn can be used to craft armor. And then now we've got the wolf stalwart. Neither sky cares, nor earth will hold. By liquor's laugh, bold spirits unfold. In drunken dreams, a cosmos wide, wake the worries cast aside. Rare was the revelry for the minor Gwais who patrolled the mountain paths, their delights not granted, but taken in human guise. Thieving sustenance from unsuspecting townsfolk, the charade proved fleeting, for the villagers grew wise to their deceit, and the Gwais, oft caught mid-bite, were met with the town's rugged justice, deterring their mischief. Among them was a wolf Gwai with a penchant for drink, who on a day of indolence lay beneath an ancient tree. Suddenly an elder wolf cloaked in feathers of a crane appeared to him, asking, "Why forsake your patrol for idleness?" The wolf Gwai sighed, "I long for drink, but the townsfolk see through me. I'm left to quench my thirst only in my dreams." The elder chuckled as he whispered a secret. "Seek the shrine, conceal yourself behind the curtains, and the sacred spirit's liquor shall be yours to drink." Then, with a swift of form, he vanished. Wavering in doubt, the wolf Gwai transformed and hurried to the town's shrine. There, veiled behind curtains, a sacred effigy stood, its origins unknown, the altar laden with delectable offerings and fine spirits. As advised, he nestled himself between the curtains, indulging in the liquor until his belches betrayed him to the gathering crowd in the shrine. Trapped between the curtains, the wolf Gwai listened as a voice rang out. "The wine jar I offered is empty. Our tributes were received." A chorus of prayers erupted, beseeching favor from the immortals. From that day forth, folks from miles around flocked to the shrine, affording the demon endless drink. But as days passed, the once delightful treat turned bitter, and those prayers, be them piteous or greedy, weighed heavily upon him with helplessness. One day, unable to endure the bitterness any longer, the wolf Gwai burst from behind the curtains, hoisting the jar and smashing it on the altar amidst the screams of onlookers. With a deafening crash, he suddenly awoke beneath the tree. No shrine, no incense, no crowd around. With a tired sigh, he took up his axe and set off to patrol the mountains once more. Interesting. And there was something over. Oh, yeah, the aged ginseng. It is believed that which bears the semblance of human shape doth possesses a kindred spirit. This can be used to make medicines. All right, lots of reading here. I think I was already up there. Oh yeah. This way.
Oh, what you waiting for? Pluck your hair and make an offer. Hey, wait! I, the keeper of Black Wind Mountain, have long been waiting for your arrival. Oh, his spitting image, I'd say. Up ahead is Guan Yin Temple. Once it was bustling with worshippers, before it was ruined by that fire. Then the temple was rebuilt. Oh, what good is it to rebuild a temple if the goodwill of men has been burned to ashes? You've forgotten this place, but they haven't forgotten you. Oh, that's a tough one. Good luck to you.
Oh yeah, okay, so that gives us the map of the area, which, from knowing what the second one looks like, this one's much smaller. Let's see. Incense Trail Talisman. Using this talisman shall immediately free the soul from the body and guide it back to the last keeper's shrine visited for resurrection. So that just makes it so that if I die, I go back to that shrine. In the Pine Sheeted Temple, the landscapes painted in hues, the world inked with grace, so delicate and vivid, one wonders which master's hand crafted such marvel. Curious that is. Actually, now that I remember too, if I go back here, there's gifts that you can grab, and some of them are armor. So you can rest. I don't need it. Well, I guess we're resting. I just want to get rid of that red button. So we're going to collect all of this. And then come here to the equipment. Grab the staff. Alright, and then this one actually is a little bit stronger. That one. That one. And that. Okay. And then down here, this one slightly increases movement speed, so we're going to put that on. And it looks like I got a new reading adventure. Alright, the Wolf Soldier. Sun-swept hills they guard and tread, from glint of steel their daily bread, far flung from their native land. At nights for home their souls shall stand. Ever since the Black Bear Gwai returned from Guanyin and crowned himself king, he boasted of the arts he had learned. Tales of his newfound method of practice and power of revival lured many a Gwai to Black Wind Mountain, seeking the king's favor. These minions toiled with abandon. Among them, a wolf Gwai worked with tireless zeal. He rose before dawn, patrolled the mountains, and continued well into the night. All of the treasures he found were first laid at the king's feet. His life was one of labor, and yet without a moment to make friends. Despite his dedication, his presence barely stirred a whisper among the others, and his name was seldom uttered. His brother, seeing such unacknowledged dedication, spent his savings for his seat in the king's lecture. The wolf Gwai sat there, heavy with regret for the silver he had squandered, both on the journey here and the seat at the lecture, that could have been used to buy himself a shield or blade, had a new blade. He mused, glory could have been mine. As he pondered this, golden-clad guardians scattered paper talismans before him, commanded to consume them. They then chanted in meditation for hours until the king sought signs of enlightenment. The white-robed wolf, Gwai, stood first, claiming a fervor within the clarity of mind. The diligent wolf Gwai thought to himself, sweating fervently in a crowd is no marvel. Achieving clarity after chanting is no miracle. Just as he was lost in thought, the Kayan Bull Gwai rose next, followed by others. The diligent wolf Gwai stayed seated, unsure until the king gestured for them to all sit down. Later treasures were doled out. The bull Gwai received a golden pill, the white-robed wolf Gwai a title, but the diligent one kept his old shield and dull blade, patrolling the mountain still. Only from then on, he did it all under the white-robed one's whims, ever obedient. Okay. Actually, kind of interesting. Or I'm just nerding out. Same. So he's got a dull blade and a cool shield. That doesn't seem to work right. Alright, the Spartans. Let's go to self-advance. We'll just kind of go across, I think. It's probably not the best way to do things, but... As of right now, I don't understand this baboon. It didn't make it that far in chapter 2, but he has yet to pop back up. Oh, I didn't notice this though. What is that? Alright. Gentane, the taste is as bitter as gut, and it supplements a deficiency in guts. This can be used to make medicines. And this is what I just picked up. The skanda of form. Man shrinks at odor, but smiles at beauty, which is only natural. Once hidden inside the Buddha's head, this treasure has a secret yet to be revealed. Oh. Can we actually go down there? We can't. I wonder if that's why he's there, is just for you to click on that. Because I've yet to see him again in the game. At least in chapter 2.
Some flesh for our taking.
We got these exploding frogs right there. Yeah, let's see. Alright, so purple lingji. I just call it purple haze. Stupid name, but an auspicious fungus that features a luxurious purple hue. This can be used to make medicines. And then the jade lotus, originating from the celestial realms, this divine plant is the god's possession. This can be used to make medicines. Alright, and then let's go here to Kroki. In pools they dwell, forms unrefined, ugly and odd, voices entwined. Bellies swell with a raucous tune. In death they burst an angry boom. Yes, they do. Two frog wives practiced in the marshes. The smaller frog was often bullied, yet the bigger one always stood up for him, and soon they forged a strong friendship. One day, amid a contest held by Ba Li Gu Lang to appoint a sergeant among all the frogs, turmoil stirred and rippled through the ranks. Finally, the choice was narrowed down to the two, the brawny big frog and the quick-witted small frog. Though the other frogs were discontented, they dared not voice their dissent. The two then were assigned to guard the dwelling of Ba Li Gu Lang. On their duty, a valuable amber glass was found unbroken. Unable to identify the culprit, all the frogs began clamoring for punishment against the two instead. The big frog attempted to reason with them, but got antagonized by their words and soon escalated the argument into a brawl. The frogs interpreted this as his reaction out of embarrassment, hence evidence of his guilt. The small frog, meanwhile, remained silent beside them. Seeing this, the big frog chided him for not speaking up for in his defense, and even began to suspect the smaller companion. Hesitated for a while. The small frog then admitted to breaking the glass. However, the other frogs dismissed his confession, arguing that one of them had committed premeditated vandalism, while the other had neglected his duty, and both deserved punishment by death. The smaller frog grew anxious and could not help but engage in the argument. As their voice grew louder and louder, their bellies inflated larger and larger until some of them finally burst, splattering blood and flesh all over the place, leaving none unsoiled. Them dudes be breaking glass. The Crow Diviner. He knows the world's fate through divination, yet cannot secure his own salvation. In what he thought was a place of peace, fate's tangled threads never cease. It is said that the crows gathering in temples, having listened to sutras and teachings every day, developed a spiritual nature and could predict fortune and misfortune. Thus, some fortune tellers who called themselves crow diviners liked to set up stalls in front of temples, using crows to pick fortune sticks for divination. They always lit sandalwood incense, which symbolizes the temple, at their stalls, and claimed that their crows were the spiritually enlightened ones from the temple. One such crow diviner had a crow he had raised from a chick, which could communicate with him using specially made fortune sticks. Every day he sent the crow to various parts of the city to observe people's lives. When clients came to seek fortunes, he would use the fortune sticks to inquire about information from the crows. He mixed this information with his own understanding of human affairs, weaving prophecies that were half true, which often managed to deceive. One day, an official came seeking a fortune, offering a large sum of money. The crow diviner told him that his official career would be prosperous and that he would reach a high position. Unexpectedly, the official not only failed to get promoted that year, but was demoted instead. Enraged, the official brought his household servants to demand his explanation. The crow diviner used the information gathered by the crows to explain that the official had not spent enough money on temple renovations, which magically convinced him. The official, deeply believing in his abilities, even introduced the crow diviner to his colleagues. The crow diviner amassed a considerable fortune through this, but he knew too many secrets of the officials and feared for his life. He decided to change his career. One day, he attempted to drive all the crows away, but they refused to leave. The crow diviner tried various means to get rid of them, but the crows, unable to endure his mistreats any longer, attacked and pecked him to death. After the crows transformed into human forms, donned the attire of fortune tellers, and continued to sell fortunes around the temple, deceiving people as the crow diviner had done. Dang. Oh, that's crazy. Alright, gather some of this stuff. Alright, and there's this big rhino looking dude over here. Not the tree. Bull guard, yes. That. So.
It's been a while, but the immobilized spell still works like a charm. Since you hail from Mount Huaguo, it won't hurt to teach you a handy trick. Now, here we go. Give me your hand.
Alright, this spell just freezes him like he is right now.
There you go. Should you come across any miscreants, just point your finger at them and release this spell. You'll be able to hold them in place while giving yourself a breather. Sadly, mine is but a humble trick. Its power will wear off within a few short moments. Though it's good enough against boneheads like this one. Anyway, just consider it an ace up your sleeve. No! The young ones these days know no manners! Fear not. Teach them a lesson with your new spell!
So we got another spark. Stamina, less stamina on dodges. And then we got this immobilized, so we can start upgrading this as well, which does come in handy at some point. He's a chief. Okay. The Bull Guard. Majestic of height, he looms with might, in heavy armor ready to fight. His eyes a fearsome, vacant lot, a sage or fool, we know not. Being the gatekeeper of the mountain was a thankless task indeed. For more than a century, Bull Guard stood watch, never once climbing the ranks, yet he voiced no grievances. for his devotion to the king was his sole concern, and the king's pills only his only desire. He treasured those pills within a lacquered box of pure pear wood lined with silk. Each time he partook of them, he performed a ritual, a process of cleansing, rinsing, and offering incense to the universe, thanking it for its gifts. Many a lesser Gwai had tasted the king's rewards, but none with such reverence as Bulgard. One day a curious Gwai inquired, "How do you maintain such vigor despite the toils of this job?" With earnest simplicity, Bulgard replied, "It is the king's pill that fuels me. Take more and you shall be as I am." The Gwai confessed, "We've partaken in our share, yet felt nothing. Mayhaps the king's gifts to you are finer." Bulgard was aghast. "From the same hand we are served. How could there be a mine in yours?" The Gwai, still skeptical, insisted on an exchange of pills. Soon after, the Gwai felt no change, while Bulgard remained as robust as ever. Some say a fool's luck, but perhaps it isn't a lack of wit that's compensated, but the power drawn from blind devotion. He'd be drinking the juice, dude. Yes, yeah, the sparks.
When you're down.
Alright, do more of this. Sure, as we start to build it up, it'll all become pretty evident that it works. Let's go down here first. So I feel like the first time I went through here, I was missing things. Like they have those meditation spots that give you more sparks. And I feel like I missed a bunch of them. There's one blatant one that I'll show you, but invisible wall.
Be smarter. Our mighty king's got serious power.
If you break these, Dark Souls and Elden Ring, I would always roll through the barrels, but it wouldn't give you anything. But in this game, it actually gives you wood, which is like a buying power thing from the store, or when you're building, crafting your weapons and armor. But here's the meditation things. I didn't forget this one, but as of right now, I don't see the point in that. And then we can start buying stuff as well. That's it.
Hey, wait! You don't think you can just parade in, do you? It's not that simple. Let me transform you into a golden cicada, so you may follow the fires ahead and scout this mountain unnoticed. Fly! It might be humble, but my shrine is very versatile. You'll get it soon.
Alright, I know the purpose of this, but I'm not going to use it. Kind of already know what's over here. So if I die, you can call me an idiot. Go over here. Is it this? No, there's the wall again. Okay.
I don't care
Oh.
what my shrine comes through. Here it comes.
Look at that. Bandit Chief. Alright. From humble start to seek revenge's claim, paths may differ, yet burn with the same flame. In bygone days there lived a youth in the town, the son of a martial arts master. His father's fondness for drink led to a foolish act that landed the old man in jail, leaving only the youth and his mother struggling to survive. As their situation grew dire, the young man took on any work to make ends meet. The villagers praised him for caring for his mother, deeming him a dutiful son. In an unlucky year of crop failure, the mother and son set out to seek refuge with relatives. Along the way, a gang of bandits emerged, eyes fierce, faces scarred. They brandished their blades, demanding nothing but gold. The mother and son, destitute, resorted to begging for mercy, but the bandits showed no mercy and were intent on killing them. The young man, believing their death was imminent, seized a bandit's knife. With a resolute heart, he ended his own mother's life and pledged himself to the bandits, and so he joined the ranks. News of the incident spread, and the people condemned him as a coward, truly a cursed son. Years passed. One day, the entire gang of bandits was wiped out, leaving no trace. Some said a hero had come to rid the land of evil and uphold justice. Others claimed a Gwai had emerged in the mountains, bringing a long-delayed reckoning. Debates raged on, but eventually the topic faded from memory. One day, a man covered in blood stumbled down from the mountains, recounting an encounter with a towering bandit, neither human nor Gwai, wielding a massive blade to rob the roads. His face bore an uncanny resemblance to the cursed youth, yet he spoke of freeing humanity from its burdens. I'm reading some of these, and it seems like some of these guys aren't so bad. Luckily, there's no reading there. Nice. this up. It's not a plant. Oh, that one is a plant. I lied. One of them is not.
So there really is somewhere.
There's a boss coming up that's pretty hard when having to beat him. Get a little extra health. I think the plant that's not really a plant is down here. It's this one. See, there he is. Explode or something? Oh, it's poison. Okay. Sure. What's new in here? Oh yeah, so the evil repelling medicant upon use considerably increases damage reduction for a long duration, which is nice. What else we got? The Millennium Ginseng, also hailed as the wrinkled savior. This invaluable herb demands prudence in buyers. This can be used to make medicines. Nice. And the ginsengling. Inherent gifts in these mystical sprouts reside, walking forth from the earth spirits untied. Roots serve as limbs, nourishing body and mind. Beware excessive gathering brings hardships unkind. Is that just calling us greedy? It was written in ancient records that consuming ginseng could bestow longevity, leading many to develop a fervent passion for devouring this precious tuber, especially aged ones. However, some scholars dismiss this notion, viewing ginseng as both a tonic and a poison. Its elevated status stemmed from its humanoid appearance, they said. Nonetheless, those who made their living by harvesting ginseng always found eager buyers. Deep within the valley, the younglings of ginseng shoots trembled with fear at the unmistakable sound of footsteps. It was the dreaded rhythm of the ginseng harvester's mountain shoes, crushing the thick layers of decaying leaves and rocky earth, and with every eerie resonance, the siblings of the ginseng plants vanished, disappearing one by one. Only the tiniest survivors managed to evade this grim fate, their diminutive size providing a fleeting reprieve. Yet, even they bore the mark of a crimson. Dude, it's late in reading. This is difficult. Marking them and restraining them. Who knew when harvesters would return to dig them up once they grew into their full potential? Time raced by, swift and unyielding, and on that day the familiar footsteps resurfaced. With the years that had passed, it was likely the offspring of harvesters who were generations younger than those who came before, than a quickened pace, a sense of anticipation. The crimson threads had surely been spotted. But oh, what ill fortune, as the ginseng harvester reached for the thread, it led to a grim sight, the entwined remains of a skeleton. A curse gathered on the tip of his tongue, but before he could spit it out, the ground behind him rumbled with the sound of scattered dirt. He turned his head. The shifting soil unleashed a monstrous creature, towering and menacing. Fear gripped the harvester, urging him to flee, his frantic screams piercing the air, shouting of man-devouring guais. Ooh, that one's kind of weird. Alright. Before we go this way, there's actually a bow guy up here that I don't want to be shooting at me while I'm fighting those guys. There's the bridge. I guess I could have just went up the smaller path. Oh! Come and drink juice. More reading. Wolf Archer. A master archer, none can compare, timid when danger fills the air, never brave when faced with fear, escape his choice, he stays clear. The Black Wind King hosted a banquet in the temple to celebrate his birthday, and all the Yaoguais attended. During the feast, the king hung a lucky ornament on a tree branch, declaring that anyone who could shoot it would receive a rare fortifying golden pill as a reward. The Yaoguais were eager to try, but the fierce wind hampered all their attempts. Among the guests was an old wolf known for his remarkable archery skills. He was cautious, unassuming, and kept to himself in a corner, nursing his drink. A few eager Yaoguais asked him to try, and though he declined, they persisted with their teasing until he reluctantly agreed. Slowly, the wizened old wolf stood up and moved to the position. Some youngsters laughed at him, deeming him incapable. Unperturbed, he calmly strung his bow, let loose an arrow, and struck the target dead center, causing a commotion among the crowd. The old wolf received the reward, and admiration followed suit as others toasted him. Toasted him? Sounds like they were like roasting. Among them was a youngster who commented on the bolus intoxicated. How generous our king is, he remarked. Far better than the Lingzhuji, who was good at making pills but never shared them with his underlings. What a tightwad. The youngster's words cast a shadow across the wolf's face, and he silently took his leave. He had roamed the mountain with Lingzhuji long before our king's reign. Yet you judged his deceased former master in front of him. Loyal as he is, you are in trouble now, warned the eager Guai. However, the young Guai shrugged off his warning. The next day, the old wolf returned the golden pill to the king, citing its value too high to possess by an archer. Hearing the news, the other Yaoguais urged the young one to apologize and seek forgiveness, but he remained defiant. Within a few days, while venturing outside, the youngster was killed by several arrows, each piercing his heart. Many said that even the golden pill couldn't save the youngster from his fate. Deep. Okay. And before we go any further, do that. I'm gonna have to go rest again because I'm out of Gatorade. There's a couple of these. There's a boss in there. Again, don't want to miss anything. Trying to kind of soak it all in. Try not to make this, I think, goes back to the crow. Yeah. Oh. And what I'll do is go back and refill my stuff and then come back straight for that, the boss that's in there. And then after we get him, there's the monk that's over there.
Our king is truly prescient.
This dude's actually been careful pretty hard. Maybe not. But we did get a spark. Increase stamina. Come back yonder. Rest here. And yes, it's gonna bring all the enemies back like it does at the Souls games or Elden Ring or Bloodborne, whatever you want to call it. I do want to make sure I make this clear. This is not a Souls-like.
Report to Lord Lingshi quickly.
He's trying to shoot me. It's fine.
How dare you? Another monkey, I see. Why don't you lay down your weapon and join me in Buddha's mercy? What say you?
There we go. That was fairly easy.
Master spoke of you, the destined one.
Alright, that one's pretty helpful coming up. Weapons and valuables cherished by Yao guys often carry lingering obsessions from their deceased owners. Collecting them grants the ability to briefly take on the forms in combat. Each transformation has its own strengths, making them worth experimenting with. Okay. Might. Transformations continuously consume might and require a full gauge to initiate. Upon spells during a transformation, further depletes might, and once it's fully depleted, transformation occurs automatically. Subsequently, might will gradually recover. So you can use it once, and then you have to wait till it rebuilds. Let's do this, and then we can take this, and it'll refill our. Oh, that one didn't have like a raid. Well, you know, you live and learn. Ring the bell.
You just had to make some noise, did you? Now everyone knows you're here. When a chant so grand echoes in the forest, Yao Guais will surely be alarmed.
Alright, actually, a couple things we have here. Maybe go to the staff. Do that. And then the transformation. Alright, so each talent level moderately increases the damage of the next attack after the perfect dodge. This talent only strengthens the Destined One himself. Okay, that's good to know. Alright, Guangji. To prove his worth, he gave sinister advice, yet reaped the bitter fruits of his own vice. Though justice remains silent, it never sleeps, and when it strikes, no one escapes its reach. In his youth, Guangji was not a monk, but a little wolf guai who yearned to be human. He often took human shape to play in town, but the people always saw through him and chased him away. When he asked the other Yao Guais why, they explained, "You may look like them, but you don't act like them. That's why they know. If you want to learn to be human, go live among them. Spend time with them to learn their ways and manners." He took this advice to heart and begged his master to grant this wish. His master, old Ling Zhuji, who was close to the Black Bear Guai in the mountains, agreed. The Black Bear Guai transformed the pup into a little monk and sent him to study under Elder Jinchi, an old friend. At first the fellow monks disliked him. They played tricks on him, and he always fell for it. Slow and gullible as he was, Jinchi named him Guangji, the Great Wisdom, hoping he would grow clever and sharp so his fellow monks couldn't bully him. The Jinchi's care and touching, Guangji learned to read. Teaching, not touching. That'd be bad. To read, write, and abide by the monastic rules. Gradually, he assimilated into their ranks. One day, two monks arrived at the temple. One had a fair, devout countenance, while the other had a face covered in fur. They possessed a wondrous treasure, the Kasaya of Eversparks. Jinchi had never seen anything like it before, and longed for it desperately, hoping to repay Jinchi's teachings and nurturing. Guangji devised a plan to acquire it for him. Guangji never imagined his mistake would ignite red tides of flames that engulfed the temple he called home. Afterward, Jinchi took his own life, and Ling Zhuji fell to the Jingubang. Even the Black Bear Guai surrendered and was taken by Guanyin. Guangji saw how many had suffered for his sake and knew he had failed utterly at being human. He shed his monk robes and retreated to the mountains, repenting with Jinchi's teachings. In his years of practice in the mountains, he forged a new weapon inspired by the raging flames he saw that night. He named it the Red Tides. Even to this day, after numerous years, he continues to hear a persistent call echoing through the mountains. Guangji, Guangji, who could it be that keeps calling him? That makes a whole lot more sense when you watch the video between, or the cinematic between Act 1 and Act 2. Alright, I'm trying to beat the monk. This dude's probably gonna kill me a couple of times. this yet. Good. Yeah, cannot absorb its spirits without guidance. We need guidance, but we can get 2 sparks. Alright, let's go back here. What does this do? Oh, that's how you get 2 of those. And then we did get these pearls. Cat-eye bead slightly increases critical hit chance, which is nice. Now what's new here? Oh, the blood of the Iron Bull. To achieve greatness, one's efforts must surpass the feat of a mosquito drawing blood from an iron bull. To cultivate a stronger spirit, this is what you need. And that's, I think, that's the spirit. But right now, don't need it because you can collect it at the shrines. Wait. Meditation spots are pretty important because it gives you sparks, but I feel like I probably missed like 2 or 3 last time. Alright, actually there's an arrow guy. I want to go take him out first. Another lesser Gwai that we can read here in a second.
Shh, keep quiet. You don't want to set off that beast. In the backyard is Black Myth Wukong's ally, calls itself Ling Shutsu. Considering your strength, I suggest you get away while you can, little monkey.
Yeah, he's been mentioned a few times in the readings.
Once you pass that gate, there's no turning back.
Alright. So real quick. Not real quick, because it's never really quick. The Wolf Sentinel. With his axe as both weapon and cane, his brows bushy, his hair white as snow, who claims the twilight years are in vain, for learning late can still make one grow. Long ago, the Wolf Sentinels were the personal guards of old Ling Zhu. I don't know how he said it. I'm just going to keep saying it, Zhuji. They were masters of the long-hafted axe, and their name was spoken in awe among the Yaoguais. When the Black Wind King returned from Guanyin and rebuilt the garrison in the mountain, he took in many wolf guais who had wandered here from Shidu Ridge. This angered the wolf guais native to Blackwind Mountain. They appeased them. The Black Bear Guai pleaded to revive old Ling Zhuji. The wolf guais then had no choice but to endure the silence. Yet mere days after awakening, the old wolf vanished, and no one had seen him since. Upon learning of this, the Black Bear did not look into the matter, but allowed a senior gray wolf guai from the kingdom of Shitu to take old Ling Zhuxi's seat and even his name. This roused the local wolf guais to fury and launched protest after protest. To their surprise, the wolf sentinels, at the black bear guai's behest, seized the lesser guais who led the unrest. The new Ling Zhuxi flew into a rage at these guais, threatening to devour them whole. They were spared this fate only by the timely arrival of Guangxi, the Fireblade Wolf, which we just eliminated. Thereafter, under the new Ling Zhuxi's command, the wolf sentinels led every patrol of lesser guais on the mountain. Never did anyone ever dare rise against Ling Zhuxi again. Ooh. It's all coming together a little bit. Okay. There's something else. Oh, wait. Yeah. There's another one of these that looks fairly similar to this one. And it does have chests you can open stuff at. I don't see anything here. Can travel, but I don't need to travel. Let's see if we can craft some armor. Okay, so that gives us more defense. And that also gives us more defense, but I think less critical hit chance. Same thing with that one. But it moderately increases sprint speed. And then same thing with this, but when sprinting, each second moderately increases attack. This effect can stack up 10 times and will cease upon stopping. I don't need to buy anything actually since I did that. Alright. Better at dodging this stuff, man. Like this right here. He's gonna hit me. Oh, it stunned him. There we go.
A great pill, the Blackwing Guai gifted the wolf. Finding it would be a deserving reward for that fight.
Okay. Oh yeah, I got a mask. Alright, so inflicts considerably more damage bonus on enemies at critical health. That's nice. Mindcore, the mighty employ their corporal forms as furnaces and their essence, vigor, and spirit as ingredients to forge a potent core, which may be harnessed to craft celestial medicines. Ooh. Yalgoi Kings is the first one. All right. His grey fur speaks of fierce might, with blood-stained fangs that gleam in the night, claws like soul reapers, tail swings death's song, feigns Buddhist ways, but his bloodlust stays strong. The grey wolf Gwai of the temple was once a refugee from the kingdom of Shitu. When Shitu was laid to ruin, the wolves fled, following the grey wolf on a long and weary road until they found shelter under the banner of the Black Wind King. Unlike the old Ling Shushi, who pursued immortality and detachment, the Grey Wolf cared nothing for the ways of deities and Buddha, nor for the empty promises of eternal life. Instead, his heart was set on mastering strength and skill. He honed his craft with iron claws and fangs until he could strip the very flesh from the bones of his foes. When the old Ling Shushi vanished, Black Bear Gwai saw fit to elevate the Grey Wolf to be the new master of the Wolf Gwais, giving him the name Ling Shushi and tasking him with guarding the Guanyin Temple. The Wolf Gwais, who came with the new Ling Shushi from the kingdom of Shitu, also rose in power and surpassed those who had served longer in the distribution of spoils and favors. The local Wolf Gwais had little affection for the ways of the new Ling Shushi, and after finding themselves thrust aside, bitterness took root in their hearts. In their shared sense of grievance, they found a new unity of purpose. Often they gathered in secret, comforting each other, sharing the old memories when the old master was in power, and quietly plotting against the new one. But Ling Shushi was prepared. Under the pretense of a roll call, he gathered the local Wolf Gwais in the temple and gave the signal to his loyal guards to seize the malcontents. The temple erupted into chaos. Ling Shushi then leaped down from the roof into the crowd, ready to devour all who dared to betray him. The Fireblade Wolf, hearing the commotion, rushed over and managed to hold Ling Shushi off and bought the minions time to flee to safety. When Blackwind King learned of this, he was ready to unleash punishment upon the rebellious Wolf Gwais, but the Snake Gwai meditated and peace was restored. Yet from that day forth, the local Wolf Gwais refused to tread even within the shadow of the walls of Guanyin Temple. Almost seems like they're all kind of greedy. Alright, so he was talking about a pill. I don't know where you'd find that. I don't think these things are good at all. Oh, maybe it's a pill. Just want to go. Oh, see, there's a treasure chest in here. And goodies to gather. Watch this be that 5 gold pieces. Nope, see what I say. I don't understand why they would build all of this. You have so many invisible walls, and you can go over there, but there's nothing over there. Alright. Is this the pill? Yep. Celestial Jade Lotus Pill, a miraculous pill concocted by the god of longevity in the southernmost reaches of the land that massively increases maximum health. Nice. And then this is just the table. Yeah. so I can refill my Gatorade and my health. Yeah, I probably will read the whole thing. Do you suggest not to do that? I find it kind of interesting to read that stuff. I know it takes a little bit of time, but it's been a long time since I've played games where I like go into the lore.
So there really is someone who would dare.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Yes, actually, please tell me if I've missed something. I know there's a cave over here. I do know that. Yeah. Right here.
What should I do? I'm caught in a tight spot.
See, the first time I played this meditation spot, I did not get. I actually like walked right over it. Only like halfway through the second chapter. I haven't played the whole thing. Really use the pillar stance all that much. At least not yet.
You don't look like a Yao Guai from these parts. Have you come to earn the Black Wind King's favor? Hear me. That bear is but a hollow shell. He can grant you nothing. Don't waste your time on him. He lies about cheating death and even the treasures. His followers are, all of them, deceived. Blackwind Gwai is a sly one. He preaches virtue with a heart full of greed. Oh, I wouldn't entrust him with my plea. I don't know why you are here, but you should be vigilant. Now, I'm pressed for time. Fare thee well, then.
Yeah, from what I've played so far, the second chapter does seem like, although I haven't gotten any further than that, and I started fighting the tiger boss, and I couldn't beat him. I didn't restart because of that. I wanted to go through like each of the character descriptions. I think those are pretty cool. It does kind of give more depth into what you're doing. But the fights and the enemies in the second chapter seem a lot cooler than what you get here. Not that this is bad. I do like the environments. This is a good like learning level. Like not stepping in fucking frog guts. So this is new. So upon use, considerably increases maximum stamina for a long duration. That one increases attack for a long duration. Significantly increases poison resistance. Another spark. So I got those two. Oh, you need 2 sparks for that. Alright, well. For right now, focus on these things. Is there anything in here? Alright, don't really need to. I know I'm not full on health, but I think I can get through this area without it.
Now free in nature's way. Have you seen those nameless souls adrift on your path? Their wheels float aloft, never to fade. Shame, your god serves little purpose, and mine answers solely to me. I know a way to guide the souls, mend their paths, and set them free. It will aid you. Now, this is better. This god, though humble, may save the lost, banish their obsessions, and guide them.
Alright, under the guidance of a wiser master, the Destined One has mastered the art of spirit absorption. The gourd possesses remarkable divine capabilities, allowing it to absorb the lingering wills of spirits left behind by formidable Yaoguais who have been defeated. And then if you come back over here, we can collect that one from the monk that we killed in the beginning. Or earlier, not necessarily the beginning. I don't really use this one though. So I'm gonna wait to upgrade that because there is one that I do use. Snake head mushroom, red in color, crisp in texture. This fungus can be found throughout woodlands and clusters. This can be used to make medicines. Oh yeah, that's right. The snake patroller. As seasons turn, from slumber it parts, hidden in green, a hunter with arts, small in shape, it devours the grand, or strikes a pain no cure can stand. In the kingdom of Hami, a small city stood against the mountainside, its lush grasses and dense forests a haven for serpents, much to the townsfolk constantly dismay. There lived in this city a snake hunter masterful in his craft, who had freed the people from many a serpent's threat, earning a fair share of silver in the process. He boasted not with his wealth, instead he often dispensed porridge to the needy and prayed for all. So revered was he that the magistrate awarded him a dwelling for all his family to live within the town walls. One day, a ragged monk, seemingly delusional, came begging at his door. The snake hunter's kind-hearted wife offered clothes and food, but the monk, unsatisfied, demanded liquor. The crowd scorned his impudence, their complaints growing loud until the snake hunter's return. He silenced the clamor and instructed his wife to bring the monk a gourd of spirits. Touched by the gesture, the monk warned, "A serpent guai lurks in your home. Ignore it not, or your family shall perish." The snake hunter scoffed at such mad ramblings and dismissed him promptly. Yet his wife heeded the monk's words and urged her husband to search for the guai. He, however, brushed aside her concerns. In her persistence, the wife fetched the mad monk once more to banish the evil. Indeed, with raw meat and an iron hook, the monk drew from their home a massive serpent, taller than a man, clearly a creature of power. 4 limbs it sprouts, and venom deadly, the monk declared. A mere touch is death. With those words, he slew the serpent guai for the woman. Strangely thence, the town remained untouched by further snake scourges. As if by the mad monk's hand, peace was restored. I don't think I need both these circles. Alright. Oh. I know if I go to him, it's going to aggro the boss. Oh yeah, and his spirit. Bali Gulag. No, it's not. This tadpole offspring of the frog, treasure it as it may prove wondrously useful someday. Sounds gross. Alright, so Bali Gulag. Wrinkles on his skin so snug, a whiff of air, a fishy hug. Legs that spring to heights above, from the dirt and muck they love. In the lands west of Blackwind Mountain, within a kingdom named Hami, stood a small town. Every day before dawn, a humble market would gather just outside the town gate. It was a place where peddlers exchanged goods while awaiting for the gate to open. But due to the prices, even the townsfolk began to participate. Thus this market gradually gained its reputation. A few months ago, an odd oil peddler arrived at the market, garbed in robes of a pearly turquoise color and with eyes that gleamed like copper bells. He had a voice that rang out with a boom, and his breath was foul and pungent. Yet he happened to be a keen talker and naturally was disliked by everyone. The oil he produces, on the other hand, was sought after by everyone. Who would not prefer the oil clear and smooth, and not to mention its price? One could exchange but a pinch of fragrant powder for a large gourd of such oil. One day a wandering Taoist passed through the town and decided to visit the market. He enjoyed his experience till he sensed an eerie green mist emanating from the old peddler, a guai, no doubt. The monk chanted, and before the peddler could manage a decent struggle, it revealed its true form, a green-skinned giant frog. The bystanders were startled and grabbed whatever they could use to attack. The frog kicked the ground with both legs, leapt higher than a tree, and swiftly fled toward the mountains. In pursuit, the folks arrived at the marshes, where they witnessed countless small frogs scraping mucus from each other's bodies, collecting it in a large barrel. They then applied fragrant powder to themselves, hugging and sniffing each other in sheer delight. Silently, the people approached and peered into the barrel. The mucus inside gleamed with clarity, just like the oil they had favored. At the sight, they were occupied by bouts of nausea and began to vomit. None had the strength to pursue and kill guais. All the frogs noticed this and hastily fled, leaving the marshes filled with a rather unique scene. That's disgusting. Okay. I'm going to come back up here because there are other guys that we can get over here. And try to collect as many sparks as I can. I realized that snake guy was going to leave there. Does that one come too? It does. Alright, this skeletal snake. A noble fate's vengeful breath binds the bones of snakes in death, a soul mistreated here to stay, resentful will blown astray. In the village of Shaded Heights there lived a young man orphaned and impoverished, constantly mistreated by his fellow villagers. One day, hunters from the village discovered a strange cave in the mountains, emitting eerie sounds that sent shivers down their spines. Too afraid to enter themselves, villagers pushed the young man in to investigate. Lost in the darkness, he stumbled and fell from a cliff, crying out in agony. Believing the cave harbored a fearsome guai, the villagers abandoned him and fled in terror. Sitting at the bottom, the young man wept bitterly. Amidst his tears, he heard the sound of bones snapping and rustling of movement. Startled, he fell silent, only to hear footsteps approaching. Filled with fear, he yelled, "Stay away! I'm an orphan and burdened with misery. My flesh is lean, feasting on me won't do you any good." Surprisingly, as soon as he spoke, the footsteps stopped. Time passed, and within the darkness, hunger gnawed at the man's senses. Despairingly, he pled, "There's no one coming for me. Devour me quickly so I may have merciful death, a merciful death." Then the footsteps resumed, inching closer. Terrified, he assumed his end was imminent. Yet, to his astonishment, he felt a piece of cloth gently brushed against his face. Reaching out, he realized it was a sleeve, which he grasped firmly. The sleeve guided him to stand and led him through the darkness until they found the cave's entrance. As the daylight bathed them, the young man finally saw that what had been guiding him, a skeletal serpent guai. Seeing the young man startled, The Gwai suddenly extended his neck and swept him out of the cave. Afterwards, the young man was saved by passing merchants and departed from the village with them. From then on, his life gradually improved and prospered. As the saying goes, misfortune may be the harbinger of fortune, and fortune may conceal misfortune. While not an absolute truth, when events reach their peak, change becomes inevitable. From change, opportunities arise, and the lowest valleys often reveal the clearest paths. There's quite a few enemies in this area. No, I don't want to fight two of them at the same time. Go through the area and make sure we didn't drop, miss anything. But there was something else. Oh, yeah, like right here. Oh. Go to hold to view, and then it goes to the map. The Fungling. As mountain rain kissed the ground, youthful green is all around. In her virtue's quiet display, even Gwais in the woods repay. In the highland bounds there lived a widow and her girl, left to fend against the harsh days alone. The mother sold pancakes in the nearby village. The girl gathered firewood, ground grain, and cooked meals, shouldering her share of the family's responsibility. Ceaseless rains had worn down the woodshed, long neglected without a man's hand. The beams rotted and the roof caved in. One day the girl found atop the ruins a gleaming mushroom, vibrant and capped like a bowl. Dew dancing on its surface, a spark of life too precious to pluck. She sheltered it with straw, letting it thrive in peace. Laden with tasks, the girl had no time to play with other children. All her secrets and dreams she whispered to the mushroom, as if it were a dear friend. The toils of life led the widow into illness, urgently needing money for medicine. After discussing it, the widow and her daughter decided to sell their house. A wealthy neighbor who had once been close to the widow's late husband expressed interest in buying the house. However, this neighbor was very stingy and tried to exploit the widow's illness to lower the price. They spread various rumors to scare away other potential buyers, bullying the helpless widow and her daughter. Worried and anxious, the girl often hid in the woodshed to cry. The mushroom witnessed all her grievances. The next day, something strange happened at the neighbor's house. Overnight, mushrooms had sprouted all over their property. When the neighbors ordered their servants to clear them away, they discovered a large, eerie mushroom about a foot tall, neither green nor yellow, growing on the main beam. When they tried to cut it down, the mushroom, with long-handled sickles, it suddenly rose into the air, opened its cap like a fishing net, and floated above them. It shook itself and then fell onto the man of the house, crushing him to death. The air was filled with countless spores. The creature released, knocking everyone to the ground. Afterward, the mushrooms crawled out of the ground, transforming into many Gwais. They helped the widow and her daughter pack their belongings and leave the village, disappearing into the mountains. Interesting. Alright, there's a boss over there, and before I go to him, we need to refill the old Gatorade bottle. And then the other thing I saw, and that sound glitch is really annoying. So meditation spots. So it's going to tell me that there's 3. At least I know now that that's a good way to find out how many are in the area. God, I think the last time I tried to do this, I hit the quick game thing. I guess it's not going to work this time. I don't know why I walked all the way around. There's a way quicker way. Okay. Just go this way. Okay. Now, try and sneak by all these other enemies and get to where that boss is. Let's go through here. This takes those guys a second to build. And done.
This humble one's name is Guangmo. Should my demise come by your hands, please pass this message to my master. Searching for deity, mortals do aspire. Craving immortality, Yao Guais surely will conspire! In the very end. Oh. Greet our visitor. My master is possession obsessed. You are just like him.
Guanju. I remember now. The evil monks abetted Elder Ginger to burn the great sage and tongue monk alive. That's these two. I thought they were already turned into ashes by that fire. Who would have thought they had turned into Yao Guais? the bell rang, it seems as though the resentment in the depths of the mountain has grown. Ah, forget it. Overthinking won't help. Your presence has already made a mess in the mountain. Why not go ahead? Take them out, once and for all.
Okay, sorry. I needed to reset it because that sound was getting obnoxious. You can't break his jars, though. Oh, okay. So you need the vines to make that to be able to use it more often. And then awakening wine worm. Alright, using the gourd moderately increases poison resistance for a short duration. So put that in there, and then what does he have to sell? Slowly recovers a small amount of health. I just don't see the point in buying that. Maybe I can be wrong. I can be wrong. Just make sure. I don't think I grabbed it. Yep, didn't grab this. Oh, tiny piece of gold. I'm sure at some point that's going to come in handy, but I have yet to have a need for it.
Late is the hour, young one, in which you choose to stain my tranquil abode. Pray tell, to what end do you seek? So I already grabbed that. Yet it engulfs all the power of war. You are nobody.
Phase 2.
You have forced my hand. Now you shall face what I truly am.
Oh, dude, you turn. There you go.
Halt! No ill will I bear. I'm merely my brother's eyes and ears. I feign my loyalty to guard this path on the bear's order. Your destiny's bleak and stark. In its grip, we share the mark. The Guanyin temple now lies in cinders, yet the elder soul endures. The root of greed ever fosters the stem of suffering. Better to forget the thing you truly seek. The 3 bells. Have you seen them all?
Only 2.
Do you too desire that which they ceaselessly hold dear?
The bells. 3 bells were set in the mountains since the Black Wind Guire's return, yet no one is allowed to go near them. Maybe the bells have something to do with the temple's burning. His words sound like truth to me, little monkey. Stay sharp and keep a lookout.
Okay. So let's go here. Oh, this was the new thing. So the Jade Fang, a tooth for a tooth. The white-clad noble has paid his blood debt. His fang can be used in crafting weapons. Weapons. Characters. White-clad noble. Oh, interesting. He's not a... Alright, a serpent youth in white with furious gaze, writes poems, dances, yet fierce in battles blaze. On a spring day with a mild wind, in the marsh of white mist, an old wolf brews tea over a stove. Watching the white reflection in the water, he mutters, "You and I should not be here." The white-clad noble, amid spear practice, hears these words. Swift as thought, he hurls his spear towards the stove, and in another instant he flashes over, grips the haft, and stands poised before the aged Yaogai. Shall we sip blood or tea? Tea sit. They sit face to face. The old wolf hands the noble a bowl of tea. The noble drains it in one gulp, a fine tea. The old wolf nods. Does a raised mountain garrison warrant so many schemes? noble replies, I come to my brother's command. At my brother's command, there are no schemes. The old wolf retorts, my return from death. Was it not a scheme? The noble says nothing. The old wolf gazes at him. Also silent, despite the cloudiness of the wolf's eyes, his unease is apparent. The noble ponders for a moment, then finally answers, that truly wasn't a scheme. If not a scheme, then what was it? Have you heard about the child in the court? The Buddhas have a spell. They piece together items that mimic the body, chant a mantra of revival, and thus bring back a life. The old wolf smiles bitterly and shakes his head. That master most assuredly wields no such power. Indeed, he does not, yet the foul relic he obtained bears this potency. The old wolf says anxiously, but living like this, I can barely sleep or eat in peace. When doom is nigh, life may yet persist. When blessed with life, the loom of death lingers. Breathe and make peace with it, and you may find your tranquility. The old wolf says nothing. The noble lowers his eyes, also silent for all the uncanniness of his eyes. His compassion is apparent. The old wolf says, I'll leave this tea for you, or to you. Better to drink tea. The old wolf rises with a sweep of his sleeve, sighing deeply. Living like this on their blood, how could I bear to do that? He totters away, not by the path he came, but turning down a fork in the road beside the marsh. Tell the master he does not need to come see me anymore. Oh, and then Shen Monkey. Gosh, so much reading. Bottom up the jade nectar, a celestial brew. In the jar, the fresh wine sparkles anew. In worldly clamor, he wishes to stay drunk, forgetting homeland, foreign lands amok. In Chang'an City stood the temple of the wild goose pagoda. Not far from its gates lived a diligent temple goer named Hao Desheng. One day, Desheng dozed off as he sat at ease at home. In his dream, he found himself at the temple gate. 4 figures approached, a monkey, a dog, a long, and a tiger, all deep in talk. He heard the tiger ask, where do you plan to take that thing? The long shook his head. Fret not, I hear they've all returned to their caves. We need but make our way to each place and wait. Our meeting is sure. The dog then inquired, may I ask, friends, where are you all off to? The monkey replied, I'm not fond of the sun, rain, or chill wind. For drinking, I shall seek out a lush and lovely spot. The long stretched his neck. I need to dwell by the water. If your place has a water view, we might dwell near. The monkey waved him off. I've seen that ugly mug of yours for all my long years. Better we live far and distant from each other. The long paid no heed and asked the dog, and you, young one, what plans do you have? Perhaps we can. The dog said, no, this time isn't ripe. It's still too early. I'd rather head to the mortal world and have myself some experiences first. Ha, experiences, scoffed the tiger. You just yearn the hunt for rare herbs to play with your furnace. The dog flushed, but before he could retort, the monkey turned to the tiger. And you, what's your plan? The tiger thumped his chest. I'll guard the village. Seeing his friends had made their choices, the old long said, well then, we don't need to travel together. Here's where we part ways, each to seek our path. When I meet that one, I'll gather you all again. With that, the 4 parted. Desheng heard a thunderclap and woke with a start, and the dream had already faded from his mind.